Hello and welcome to Did You Know Gaming Extra. In today's episode, we'll explore games which received disdain from the people involved in the franchise and or the game's creation. Over the past few decades, the game industry has slowly shifted towards digital distribution over physical discs. Games changing after their initial release has since become common, with updates introducing new mechanics and adding additional features. One title that made use of this feature was 2003's Postal 2, which was known for its controversial subject material. The game had a less well-received sequel, Postal 3, which wasn't developed by the franchise owners, Running with Scissors. Fans of the series were extremely disappointed with the resulting sequel, as were Running with Scissors. In Postal 2's shopping mall location, a video game store could be found which had the signage revealing that it would open in June of 2016. To the surprise of many, these signs turned out to be speaking the truth, as the game was updated to make the location accessible. Inside the store, the player can find a VR headset similar to that of the HTC Vive, which when worn will send the player into a location known as Steam. Inside are a number of parody versions of popular Steam titles, as well as a sports almanac referencing Back to the Future Part 2. Speaking with the cashier will provide players with tips from the future, such as suggesting the player bets on the Red Sox, or that you shouldn't buy Postal 3. Whilst Postal's disappointed creators didn't work on the third game, other developers had no one to blame but themselves. One developer over at Atari felt so strongly about the project they worked on that they left a displeased message in the game's data. Enterprise was released on both the Amiga and the Atari ST, and it's generally agreed by many that the title is of poor quality. On the game's second disc, the file warningd.dat can be found. This file contains all of the game's spoken dialogue. One of these pieces of dialogue isn't played in the game and is nothing but gibberish. However, by reversing the audio, one of the game's developers can be heard sharing his opinions on the game.
Enterprise is rubbish.
Another title of questionable quality is the LJN-produced Back to the Future game on the NES. Bob Gale, the co-producer of Back to the Future, wasn't involved with the game even though he wanted to be. When asked about working with Telltale for their 2010 adventure games, Gale brought up the subject voluntarily, saying, "I should note that the previous Back to the Future video games have all sucked eggs, particularly the Nintendo 8-bit cartridge made by LJN in 1989. Truly one of the worst games ever." The LJN people did not want any input from the filmmakers, but they promised to show us the game when it was ready. I was outraged when they finally showed it to me and had all kinds of things I wanted to change, but of course we were told it was too late to change anything. I actually did interviews telling fans not to buy it, because I was so ashamed that a product this bad would have our brand on it. And now it's time for today's random piece of trivia, so let's check out the world of hired hands. In Hitman Blood Money, an odd Easter egg can be found in the mission Till Death Do Us Part. Near the water at the front of a mansion, a small coin can be found. When shot, the group of guests who had previously been fighting will lose all of their clothes before running towards Agent 47 clapping their hands. After a short while, this group will stop clapping and begin to fight again, though still wearing nothing but their underwear. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Did You Know Gaming Extra. Let us know what you thought. If you did enjoy this video, consider hitting the like button, maybe subscribe if you want to keep up with new episodes, and if you want to get into our good book, boys and girls, share it with a friend. It's just some notes at the bottom here. What happened to Cannon Fodder 3?